There's no denying that social media has become a large part of our lives, and that's what we're going to focus on today. While it has had some really great effects, it's also had some very bad and ugly effects on our lives as well. The main mode of social media we're going to focus on is Facebook, because according to the Pew Research Center, approximately 79% of internet using adults are on it. So there's an abundance of data, and everyone's very familiar with it. So we can see these effects in our own lives. We're going to start with the good and what's nice about Facebook. As Hunter Oatman Stanford has said, deep down, we're not afraid of newfangled technology as much as we're afraid of giving in to our selfish desires, becoming mindless blobs glued to digital screens, forever gulping unhealthy snacks. I say this with a bag of Reese's peanut butter cups sitting next to me. But we can also see that people have been getting over this fear and that there is no fear anymore of social media, or there's very little fear of social media anymore. There's been a dramatic increase since 2006 in the percent of U.S. adults who use at least one social media site. It's gone from, as you can see, around 7% to around 70%, which is a very large increase. In addition to that, we can see the increase in use of different social medias based on or from year to year. So from 2012 to 2016. They've stayed pretty consistent, but as you can see, there's been a pretty big rise in Pinterest, and Facebook has stayed up there as well. Instagram is, of course, the second one at 32% of internet-using adults utilizing the site. But the really nice thing about Facebook is that it sorts everything into different circles. So while I have my main friends list, as you can see, it also sorts my friends into friends that I've met here at college, which is listed as the University of Michigan. Has my friends that list the same high school as me, so Northville High School. And it also puts in the people from my hometown, which is mostly the people from my high school, but there's a few others added in there. This can help me in that I can check on, like, okay, I know this person is from here. I can see what they're up to and everything. It's great. It's wonderful, and I love the fact that I can do that. But with the ability to connect to others in that way, there also comes some very negative side effects. So technodeterminism is the belief that technology shapes our thought and behavior, and this is from David Weinberg. And we can see that. The Pew Research Center reports that 76% of Facebook users visit the site daily, which is not that bad. But you can also see how often they visit the other websites. If we switch charts and we go to this other one, we can see that people don't generally use just one type of social media. They have multiple. So instead of just going on Facebook, it's usually you go on Facebook, you check Twitter, you check Instagram, you check Pinterest. It's a list. You go through each time. That not only takes a toll on our time, but it also takes us away from those around us. And in addition to that, it really it does impact our behavior. If we're bored in class, we go on Facebook, we go on Twitter. If we're walking around, we go on Facebook, we go on Twitter. And it's not because we want to see what everyone's up to all the time, it's just that it's a force of habit. And you can see that from my lovely MSMR study. I assure you that I don't care that much about what people are doing to go on Facebook about 20 times a day, or more than 20. It's about 50 times a day. I do it out of habit. I go on and I just waste time. It's something mindless. It shapes my behavior. As I scroll, we start to see the ugly. And the ugly is the advertising. And as Ethan Zuckerman is saying, advertising has become the default business model on the web because it is the easiest model for any web startup to implement. And we can see this especially on Facebook. Here we see pictured Facebook's financial records from this past year, so 2016, and we can see that advertising is in fact one of their largest sources of revenue, and it's up quite considerably from 2015. You can see there's a 53% change in it over here. That's a big percent of change. And you can see as we scroll through my Facebook feed, all of the various ads. I have not only ads on the sides, but I have ads from pages that I've liked over the years, and also sponsored ads that just show up based on what I've searched and my demographic, young, college student, female. So I used to get a lot of prom dress ones, but that has kind of stopped. But you can see all of these negative things. So in conclusion, while Facebook and all social media is great for connecting and impacting our lives in a great fashion and allowing us to see what other people that we were close to at one point are up to, it also really shapes the way we behave. And going on the sites isn't necessarily I want to go see what these people are doing. It's a behavior. We do it mindlessly. I find myself opening my phone almost every day and trying to go somewhere, and I end up on Facebook. It takes time. It impacts the way we shop. It impacts our lives in a greater way than we imagine, and I don't necessarily think that's in the best way possible.